It was the biggest game in their history, and a game in which many had written them off. Andy Robinson wanted his team to be totally focused for the 80 minutes, but after just 18, it all looked to be going horribly wrong. The champions started firing on all cylinders, and following Le Maison's early penalty, could have had the opening try if Jim Fleming hadn't spotted an earlier infringement. Le Maison kicked a further 4 penalties to just 2 from John Callard to give the French side a 15 points to 6 half-time lead. But the turning point of the match came early in the second half, when Bath defended their line against 6 consecutive Brive scrums. They held out and seemed to grow in confidence as they attacked the Brive defence, and that attacking impetus led to the only try of the game. Callard up from full-back to pull Bath back into the game and to within a couple of points of Brive. Alain Penaud increased their lead with a dropped goal, but Bath were now on a roll. Callard kicked another penalty before Adi Adebayo's run along the line was blocked by Yves Mann, and Callard, on the stroke of full-time, had the opportunity to win it for Bath. Into the lead for the first time in the match, but the drama wasn't over. Le Maison had another chance to win it, but couldn't hold his nerve. And then, in the 5th minute of injury time, Arbizoud could have stolen it with a dropped goal. But his miss sparked an orgy of celebrations from the supporters and players alike.
Well, that was how Bath won the battle on the pitch, but they couldn't have done it without the travelling support of thousands and thousands of their fans. This weekend, of course, the Mats Match cameras spent the day with all those fans, the day that Bath lifted the cup. Welcome to Mats Match from Bordeaux, where Bath have just lifted the Heinken European Cup. A fantastic nail-biting contest, and it's a day that the thousands of fans from the West Country will never forget.
Ecstasy is the only word that truly describes the scenes in the Stade Lescure following Bath's victory. For the 7,000 supporters who can proudly tell their grandchildren that they were there, the last few minutes were a roller-coaster ride of emotion as Bath clawed their way to a 1-point lead and just managed to stay there.
It was absolutely out of this world. I would have paid £1,000 to come and see that. That was excellent. Thank you, Bath.
I think today Bath showed that they have got the spine of old and they are still the best team in Europe.
The sun was on its way down as the delighted West Country hordes began to party in earnest, but earlier in the day, the dawn over Saint-Emilion, where Bath had based their cup final headquarters, set the tone for the awesome victory that was to follow. While the team was still in their beds on Saturday, one group of fans were just a kilometre away visiting a nearby vineyard. Pierre Burot owns the famous Chateau Bonalgue and welcomed our party with typical French hospitality, even if some of them had been doing a spot of tasting the night before.
I have a slight problem this morning with my tongue. LA Bath.
Well, this is my favourite, the Chateau Bonalgue 96. And this is where you're supposed to spit it after tasting. You've got to be joking.
Meanwhile, the Brive army were massing on the side of the main road into Bordeaux, preparing for the assault on the stadium, just in case the Bath fans thought they were going to have things all their own way. Luckily, Bath could rely on I Victorious and his legionnaires, who were to prove pretty good when it came to predicting the final outcome of the battle.
It's going to be a tight game, but at the end of the day, Bath, they always play well on the big occasions, and for sure, I think they may win a penalty, maybe last 5 minutes or so, but they'll do the business, as always.
Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi Catherine, je suis à Bordeaux, et aujourd'hui on va gagner. Hello Bath, and it's Catherine, I'm in Bordeaux, it's a great day, the weather's great, and we're going to smash the French. Good luck to Andy and the team.
The message must have got through, although when John Callard stepped up for what will become that penalty, some Bath fans could hardly bear to watch. Later that night in the Place de Victoire, the party continued with supporters from both sides in good spirits.
Well, it looks like we're going to be playing around in the Place de Victoire all night. The Brive fans and the Bath fans. It's really nice to see. If you want to see me at something next week, it'll go something to beat this, but you can try. Write in to the following address. Until then, au revoir from Bordeaux. And that address is, of course, Mats Match, HTV Bristol BS4 3HG.
But now, of course, time to talk to the man of the moment. Now, John, the first times you've actually seen that kit going over is just in these last few minutes. I know you say they're all the same, but what was going through your mind at that moment?
I haven't got a clue. I'd be a liar if I told you I knew what was going on. It just happened.